Hi, this is Jessica DeMassa. Welcome back, live stream X-Metters. We hope you've enjoyed the day so far, and it's not over yet. But we are here in the GuideWell Insights Lounge for the very last time for today, and actually for the very last time this X-Med. So we hope that you stay with us for our coverage of the break. We are live here in the Health Innovation Lab at Exponential Medicine 2017. I have Daniel Kraft coming into the corner of my eye, and here he comes. Man of the hour. You're truly everywhere. You are truly everywhere. It's unbelievable.
This is my clone.
I think that you've figured out how to teleport yourself across the Hotel del Coronado and to our set, because you're getting faster and faster as this event goes on.
This is my avatar. This is a virtual conversation.
Next time I'm 3D printing you, and I'm just going to have that interview like that. So, how was today?
Today was awesome. So, this is the third of our 4 days at Exponential Medicine. So, we're starting to pull some really interesting technologies together and look about how this impacts the future of clinical practice, from medical education to diagnostics to therapy to clinical trials to the future of pharma. And we started today with, I think, a pretty eye candy session looking at the future of envisioning future of healthcare from augmented reality and virtual reality. And we were kicked off by Brennan Spiegel, who gave a tour de force tour. Well, actually, we started with the future of neuroscience. Let's take it back, step back.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The brain.
I like the brain.
Jimmy Chander, who's an anesthesiologist out of Stanford, covered some of the amazing things happening with optogenetics, with brain-computer interface, with new ways to think about consciousness, and a lot of the elements there. Followed by Jordan Amadio, a neurosurgeon. So from an anesthesiologist to neurosurgeon, who's also the co-founder of Neuro Launch, and really catalyzing a lot of new solutions in the neurosurgery space and neurology space in general. Kind of a bit of a theme there is how do you get the next generation of clinicians as clinician entrepreneurs and solving grand challenges. We had a really interesting element there from Click Health, one of our partners at Exponential Medicine this year, around digital empathy. How do you show what it feels like to have Parkinson's? So I think you've talked to them and the ability now, a brother with a twin, could now, the non-affected twin could feel what it's like for his brother to have Parkinson's. So just sort of that ability to have digital empathy can lead to probably new approaches, not just for Parkinson's, maybe other sorts of diseases.
We had a great interview with them, actually with all three of those people that you mentioned, but with them in particular, and how they're going to take that digital empathy concept and apply it to different conditions. And so that sounds just fascinating moving forward.
And Kate Risenbooth talked about how we might think about electricity as a therapy for Parkinson's and tremor and other elements. So a nice sort of wrap around the future of neuroscience in a few ways. And then went to a fascinating session around augmented reality, virtual reality healthcare, from Cedars-Sinai, Brennan Spiegel, really eye-opening talk about VR. Patients who are stuck in a hospital, look in the four walls of the hospital, or in a scary intensive care unit, or PICU, or they can now be at the beach. They could go into an area that lead them to need less pain medications. So all the way from folks from hospice to folks in a hospital outside. I think we see VR as therapy to kind of get people into a different headspace, as well as ways to train surgeons and medical students and others. That was followed by Shafi Ahmad, one of our 3-time rock stars of surgery and medical innovation. And he's really pioneered the first VR surgeries where folks will watch, thousands of folks watch the surgeries in real time. I was in London for his first live stream VR surgery. And then today he demoed something that they just pulled off for the first time about 2 weeks ago, how you could sort of collaborate. So I was there virtually with 2 other folks, someone across the country, and another colleague here, Sean Apollo, as an avatar. We could be in a virtual space together looking at CT scans, and I was there moving scans around, moving around a 3-dimensional model. So the way we're going to be able to see clinical data from an actual patient and have folks come into the operating room virtually, or any clinic, is going to be incredible. And we closed off that session with Raphael Grossman, who's as a surgeon himself, when he came to one of our early Exponential Medicine programs, saw the first Google Glass, really pioneered that in the operating room and beyond. And then a clinician entrepreneur from England, Nadine Aram, who is leading the way with Proxime, which is already in many parts of the world, maybe sort of blended, guided, collaborative, surgical, real-time help.
Right.
So that was a lot happening in AR and VR.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we had the opportunity, like I said, to talk to quite a few of those folks that you just mentioned. So
the sessions will hopefully be online soon. I mean, the future of walking into OR, maybe you see the patient line there, and you're literally seeing through them to where their aneurysm is, or where you want to approach surgically, or with a minimally invasive approach. So I think
bringing in a class of avatars to help you diagnose, to help you make your surgical decisions.
Maybe an AI, maybe your colleague across the world, it may be a team of colleagues. You'd be crowdsourcing your advice in real time. So that was the future of AR and VR. And what happened after that?
Did we go to mental health after that?
We did go to mental health.
Okay.
Or was that after lunch? It's been a long day.
When was the scrubs photo?
Oh.
Talk about that for a minute while we think about this.
Well, part of our ARV element is you're seeing wearing these amazing scrubs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can pull the live demo. These have a little marker on them, which enables me to sort of pull up an augmented reality element. So
no way. Off of the scrubs.
Off the scrubs. So live demos are always tough.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see if we can pull it off here.
We're gonna do it though.
Essentially, part of education is appreciating your anatomy.
Yeah.
I've already done this with my 3-year-old son Leo. He can now see his insides. We decided to put this on all of our scrubs this year.
Okay.
So that anybody with these, it comes from this company called CureScope, and their founder is here today, will enable you to, here we go. I'm going to try and turn this around and do this as a bit of a selfie.
Can we come in close so we can see his screen?
So, I'm going to come over here. Oh, there you go. See my
Is
inside.
that cool? Can you guys see that?
And I can see in here, I can tap in there, I'll see my heart beating, or my
We're focusing, hang on to it, but your heart is beating.
Right. And
I'm seeing your lungs. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
See down there? I might want to go and do one more layer down.
Oh, is that cool?
All right, so that's an example of blended reality. I thought that was a nice thing to try out here.
And on those iconic scrubs of all things.
And the iconic scrubs. So we actually made it made it outside in time for our scrubs photo with the drone. And we actually had a drone for BD fly by, which is now already being used in the Amazon to deliver medical supplies and diagnostics.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
So pull those together. This afternoon, after lunch, people went to the breakout workshops. I think they had a pretty amazing experience. We had our many award pitches. We looked at the future of mental health. We had one of my fellow Aspen Health Innovator Fellows, Shannon Jacquard, who's based here in San Diego.
She's incredible.
And she's been a leader at NAMI, which is here, and others, and starting a new company called Balanced Health. How do you not put labels on folks with mental health? How do we help family members of those who have mental health kind of open up and remove the stigma and hopefully approach mental health in new, powering ways? We got our folks from MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies. We're now using some ancient drugs like psilocybin, magic mushroom, and MDMA. Not as the ecstasy version, but a real true version that's showing amazing benefit for folks who have PTSD or really recalcitrant depression.
Yes, and what struck me about that, we did an interview, I think it was Brad, right? We were talking to him about how the use of that MDMA is partnered with a psychotherapy session, and so it's a safe environment. It's 6 to 8 hours of a therapy session while the person is taking that drug, which is just, I think, such a responsible way to integrate that in.
Folks who had PTSD for sometimes 10, 18, 20 more years,
basically
with 3 sessions, with 3 doses of MDMA over time, 53% or so had no more PTSD.
I mean, just remarkable outcomes from that.
So sometimes drugs that have been sort of, this is a counterculture drug, can have, and last year you might remember we had Tony Bossis talking about psilocybin for end-of-life care, which can be powerful. So then we transitioned to, what's the future of clinical practice? What's the so what about this? So my brother from another mother, Shafi, Jordan Schlane, talked a little bit about his perspectives on, are we asking the right questions? How do you use digital empathy? Talked a little bit about health loop. How do you give someone a ping? How are you doing today? Is something off? And if something is off, you can be proactive and bring them in. We had an amazing talk from the Center for Body Computing, Leslie Saxon. She's a cardiologist who brings a lot of this wearables and sensors and data and Hollywood-type avatar elements to bring this together to reach your patients through an avatar on their smartphone, or now with sports teams to leverage data in new ways, or military to optimize health performance, but also manage complex cardiac patients. And blend that with a little bit of Hollywood flair so people stay engaged with those elements. We closed off that session with Stephen Steinhubel from Upstarted Scripts, who's again, along with Eric Topol and other colleagues, really pulling a lot of these exponentials together. So they're not just sensors, but they can be used for disease detection, for disease management, for clinical trials. They're doing this All of Us trial out of the Precision Medicine Initiative started by President Obama that will be doing tens of thousands of Americans and hopefully will spread around the world to integrate omics and digital sensors and do at scale, massive clinical trials. Not everyone's normal temperature is 98.6. We're starting to see where those elements are and hopefully make that really actionable. The future of medicine should be, if I'm seeing you in the clinic, I should have the world's information about someone with you, like you, with your omics and other elements, personalized and tailored to most optimally manage, prevent, and take care of you. So that's not really available today. We're still waiting on, often decades-old double-blind placebo-controlled trials. We need to reinvent that piece. So that was our efficient clinical trial there. I'm sure I missed something in there. And the last piece we just had was around the future of pharma. Big area for change. Still many drugs fail, billions of dollars per drug to get to the market. We kicked that off with Milind Kempkolker, who's the chief data officer of Sanofi, data geek. And how can big pharma and small pharma and others start to use data in new empowering ways, measuring new things in clinical trials, being smarter about drug selection, smarter how you pay the dollar, how do you get patients to get engaged and donate their data. We had a short demo from Andrew Farquharson, who's one of the co-founders of Rani Technologies, an incredible pill that you can put a biologic in, something you normally have to inject or take IV. Swallow that little pill. It's a little robot comes out in your gut, basically injects that into your gut wall.
Wow.
So for a lot of drugs that you have difficulty taking, adherence is a big issue. A lot of issues there. They're now in preclinical, will be in clinical in the next year or so. It's already at $1 billion valuation, this company.
My goodness.
Well, able to deliver biologics and things like insulin, Humira, and others in a pill as opposed to injection. So piece there. And then we close with Alex, the CEO of InSilico, Alex Z. I can't pronounce his
very long last name. Nobody's blaming you at this point.
And Alex is at the pioneering level of using AI for drug discovery.
Okay.
And talked a lot about how some of the other fields of AI are blending into pulling massive information from your facial features to obviously pharmacogenomics, metabolomics, can help us design drugs with the assistance of AI and get them through trials in virtual and other ways.
Okay.
How blockchain and other elements are going to be a part of this element as well for security and running trials. So I think that was a bit of the arc of the day. I probably forgot something.
No, but that's great. I mean, that was definitely a flavor of it. And I know the folks that are on the live stream have been watching very intently, and we've been seeing a lot of their feedback come in on #XMed on Twitter, and everybody's been very active and participatory in the conversation.
So for those of you who weren't here, you can see a lot of these talks later online, or talks from prior years at exponentialmathsontom.com. Save the dates for 2018. We'll be back here at the Amazing Hotel Del November 4th through 7th.
Okay, we're back into November next year, everybody. It's the November year.
Yep, and if you'd like to reach out to me on Twitter at Daniel_Kraft for ideas, we want new companies, new mindsets here next year and throughout the year, and to catalyze some of the convergence of minds of the 600, or actually 800 people here in total.
Oh, really? Wow, I didn't realize that.
From 36 plus countries.
It's fantastic.
So that the things that happen here don't just catalyze. And one thing I'm building out, I love folks out in the world to try, is a platform I built called the Healthcare Connectome, healthcare-connectome.com, where we're going to start to mind map some of the elements here at Exponential Medicine and beyond, so you can see where the data is and the technologies and the problem spaces, start to map that so we can catalyze new solutions going forward.
That's very cool. So that's
healthcare-connectome.
Connectome. Spell Connectome just in case. So I want to make sure everything.
CONNECTOME.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure.
Healthcare Connectome, healthcare-connectome.com. And one new initiative I'm also launching in the next month or two is digital.health. We have the .health folks here. Because there's so much out there. How do you know as a clinician or as a patient what device, what app, what digital might be appropriate? How do I prescribe a sleep tracking ring or an app for managing diabetes? And I think part of the future of medicine is knowing what's available, personalizing that to an individual need, and being able to literally hopefully prescribe that, get it paid for, and the information flow to become part of the workflow of the clinician, patient, caregiver.
That's fantastic. You've got so much on the docket. Do I have you for a few more minutes?
Sure.
Okay, fantastic. I mean, I think when this break ends, there's quite a bit of time, but this is our last live feed interview from the lounge here at this year's Exponential Medicine. So I'd like to take an opportunity to interview you.
Okay.
And just kind of hear, basically, I know we're not done, and we are still broadcasting live tomorrow. The sessions will be live tomorrow. So
8:30 sharp with Ray Kurzweil.
I'm sorry?
8:30 a.m. PST with Ray Kurzweil.
That's right. And before that, there will be Shauna Butler doing a little morning show with me that we're going to package up, and it's going to be running, so you'll know what's ahead for the day. But this is our last live feed during the breaks, and so I just want to have a chat with you about this year. Aha moment for you.
Aha moment. Well, one thing we touched up on this year wasn't necessarily an aha, but I think it's so important, is I wanted to bring a little more of the social determinants of health.
Okay.
Food insecurity, social disparities around race and location and education. So we opened up with a great session, our first evening here, led by Josh Lee and Lee Sanders and Blair Watt. I mean, we can bring that a bit to the fore, so we can start to think about the inequities and how to address them with technology. Oh, we did have an amazing session this morning from Unrest. I forgot, that was the one thing I was missing. Jennifer Brea.
Yes, we spoke with her
amazing
earlier.
Patient advocate with chronic fatigue syndrome, CFSME. It was an amazing film. You must go watch it. Unrest.film. The hashtag is Time for Unrest. It's now available streaming online. She's an incredibly brave patient and advocate who's catalyzed the chronic fatigue community and a lot of the scientists. So we had Andy Colgan, an old friend and colleague of mine at Stanford with the Open Medicine Institute, tandem with her. How do we open up new technologies and science to approach challenging diseases like chronic fatigue? And so that was one of the kind of unmet needs from social determinants and elements of unmet needs and diseases that are often kind of under the table. No one sees chronic fatigue patients because they're at home in bed in many cases. So that was an aha moment. It was nice to connect those elements. And the mental health piece, I forgot we had a little bit of more as well this afternoon. We had a session talking about how do we, with Shannon on mental health, but also from Jamie Wheel on flow states, and a talk on transformative technologies, ways we can start to use technologies to optimize our brains for creativity and beyond. Nicole Bradford led off that piece, and we closed with Will Henshaw, a rock star, used to be in the band London Beat.
Do you want me to sing the song?
Yes, thinking about you. And he sang that song, but he's done this amazing company called Focus at Will, which is using music to help you focus. And apparently improve memory, as he showed in the trial that they've run.
That's fantastic.
So those are a few pieces. Moments. I'll have to go back and watch all the tape.
No, I know, and I don't mean to put you on the spot with that. It's just you spend, having been to, this is my 4th exponential medicine, and I always feel so lucky to be here because it is just such an optimistic conference, and everybody's really thinking so far ahead, and it is very emotional compared to other conferences that people can go to in this space, in the health innovation space, and the program is just so well curated for that. And so has everything come off the way that you hoped? Were there any surprises?
Yeah, we're actually on time today. I mean, it's hard to keep a few books on schedule.
Today, I don't know if we were on time. On time-ish.
Ish. I think what I try and do here in curating this, and also while we're doing this in flow, is to be a little bit more operational. When you run a company, a program, anything, and you're trying to stick to a rigid script,
it's hard.
Things go off, and you have to adjust and parry and feel the room. And so I don't know if it's a lesson for life and innovation in general, but things don't always go exactly to plan. You have to be able to move with that. And the team here has been amazing. An amazing team. Will Weissman, our director of conferences, Sean Butler, the E2K team, looks in the innovation lab, GuideWell, all of you guys have been fantastic, and especially this element that brings us to the world. What I really want is that this catalyzes not just here in these 4 days, but can move into the world and have big, broad impact.
And I think so much of these conversations that are had here then definitely do spread out, and it's inspiring to hear about not only the reach that you guys have in the U.S. now, but also abroad. I mean, it really is becoming a movement, it feels like. So congratulations to you for that, and congratulations to the entire Singularity University Exponential Medicine team on doing that, because I mean, as far as the expo techs are concerned, there's a lot out there, but I feel like this is one of those places where not only can you learn about it on the first day and go through and basically get that introduction to where are we, state of play with all of these technologies, but then it's like as the conference moves on, it starts to integrate things together, and you see the convergence, and you see how they're applied within the health system. And so again,
healthcare's a convergence play, and again, at least my mindset in putting this together, conversation I had here with Peter DeMandis 8 years ago, 2010 almost. It was like, a lot of conferences are very like it's cardiology, oncology, gastroenterology, pharma, digital. It's very rare that you blend people and ideas. One piece, I can't forget this from today. Where's the camera? Was Lucy Engelin. Lucy Engelin from Rabout Medical Center has been here, and our core faculty, true instigator and catalyzer. And he talked about a lot of the challenges, still a lot of new ways of approaching it, including bringing innovators from all around the world together. And they had an amazing breakout called the Global Network of Healthcare Innovators. And that is one of the things that's been catalyzed here to bring folks together and stay connected and take lessons from Europe and Asia and Latin America and parts of the U.S. And beyond, and not to reinvent the wheel. So Lucy and he brought a whole bunch of amazing Dutch healthcare innovators and beyond is a key part of this program. I want to thank Lucian as well.
No, thank you for bringing that up. And Lucian is one of my favorite. He's, if I remember back to my first exponential medicine that I was actually an attendee at, his talk was the one where I was like, I am so sold on this.
And some of the things they come up with, patients included, nurses included, entrepreneurship.
And now they're redefining education around innovation in healthcare. I mean, so many things. But I do want to say, to that point, it said, some of these things came out of participation here at XMed, and I've been hearing that as a theme in the 30-something interviews that I've had is, oh, well, last year at XMed when we talked about this, and last year, and now we're partnered with so-and-so. So there really is this synergistic effect that's happening. I don't know when, because the sessions are going on constantly.
Yeah,
but there really is a lot of good synergies being created amongst the people who are here attending, and it's so inspiring to see that convergence among people and ideas.
And folks at home, you can take some of this mindset. If you have a company or an academic group or others, when you do a brown bag lunch or something, bring people from other areas, bring in some VR gamer, find your local 3D printing shop.
Bring them in.
Yeah, create your own hackathons and maker spaces. So when you get people mixing up and sharing ideas, that's where a lot of the sparks fly, and that catalyzes the future in smarter ways than being your old mindset.
Talk to me a little bit, just broadly, you're Daniel Kraft on health innovation and where we're at. I mean, I know we've got to get going. I see you checking your watch discreetly, but just real quick, what are you looking forward to? I mean, I feel like things have changed and the conversation has shifted, and conversations about big data in particular and AI and deep learning are in a different place than they were last year. Microbiome seems to be having a moment right now here at this conference. Blockchain, it's like people are still confused, but it's like, yes, let's do this. So give me, like, from a macro level, what do you got your eye on?
Well, one of our faculty the other day, I think it was Brendan Spiegel, brought up the Gartner hype cycle.
Yep.
Or also in regenerative medicine, Bob Barrieri, every element has this hype cycle. It's like, oh, amazing, AI, 3D printing, nanotech, robotics, drones, and you can be very buzzword, even things like blockchain, AI,
yeah, like, let's
nanotech.
Do it, and then now what?
But I think what's happening with a lot of these is we've gone from the hype element, trough of disillusionment for some, and some are really starting to come into that plateau of productivity. AI really becoming potentially used in the world. Genomics really can enter the clinical space.
We're feeling that, and I'm hearing that in these interviews where it's like almost like that. It slid down and then it kind of not hit a wall, but it's like definitely slogging through some tough mud here right now. It's getting integrated.
And there's barriers. We've got regulatory barriers which aren't starting to crack. We had Akul Patel from the FDA here yesterday, and they did another breakout session that's hopefully going to catalyze more change at the FDA and other regulatory bodies. We have the payers. We have a lot of payers here in the audience as well. They've got the hammer on this, but they're starting to open their eyes to this because they say, if we don't do this, we're going to get our lunch, we're going to get Uberized. And I used the line from my friend, the CEO of XPRIZE, Marcus Shingles, you want to Uber yourself before you get Kodak. But I think there is a realization that some of this stuff is not so far away. And as things accelerate, I mean, we're only 10 years on the smartphone. I brought on stage the other day my iPhone 2 from 9 years ago. That would feel like an antique today.
Right.
In 10 years, the iPhone 10 will look antique and maybe dissolved into our glasses or our contact lenses.
Right.
So what's magical today will be antique, and that keeps accelerating. So, and now that we're seeing Apple, Samsung, Google, Amazon
entering into the fray here in healthcare, Talk to me a little bit about that. Can you weigh in on that? What do you think?
I mean, what do I think? I think because we touch our consumer devices, whether it's an iPhone or a Samsung phone or our Google platforms or our connected homes, that we're going to, our Amazon Echoes will, and beyond enable us to touch health and medicine, and not just, I have to wait to see the doctor in 2 years, I won't have a problem. And give us that early warning, that check engine light for health is becoming more of a reality. Even the Apple Watch now can pick up heart arrhythmias and give you an early warning. So that stuff's not science fiction anymore. And I think because the bigger players are getting in the space, it's going to be disruptive to some old players, but make healthcare a bit more seamless, a little more Uberized. You can get what you want when you want it, and when you need it, and hopefully make it cheaper and democratize. All these tech elements don't need to make healthcare only for the super rich. I remember 30 years ago from the movie Wall Street, he's talking on the beach on the phone, it's amazing. that was only for the super rich. I remember in 1986 seeing the first smartphone in a car. It was the size of it was a suitcase in a car. Wow, now that you take that for granted.
Right.
When I traveled to Europe in 1990, big deal to make a phone call or find barely an internet cafe. Not that long ago. So I think we're seeing this come together faster than we might think, because we're going to need to with this age-weighted population.
Yep.
We had a great keynote yesterday from Ken Dykewald. I mean, with this aging population, we don't have enough caregivers.
Right.
We don't have enough dollars to take care of the baby boomers as they are if we keep on our current mindset, the linear mindset.
Yeah.
So we've hoped to catalyze some new thinking. And
are we going to see some of those consumer companies here at XMed next year, maybe?
Well, if you're listening, the CEO of Amazon and Apple and Google, you're all invited next year to Exponential Medicine. I think they're a great session.
Wouldn't that be incredible?
Why not? And the next Googles and Samsungs, some of them are being created here.
Right.
So it's not like, you're going to find them here early. We have this innovation lab with 55 plus companies.
Yep.
I think several of them will probably be I would guess, several billion-dollar companies here in the next few years.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought my microbiome test from Biome, today. Had to get that in. So Daniel, I'm going to give you a break.
We got to start a session in 5 minutes. So
we are. So you're going to have 5 minutes to run across the hotel down
and take a photo.
But I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity for GuideWell to be here and report live again during the breaks. It's been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much for participating with us and giving us these wonderful recaps every single day. It's been
thanks
a pleasure
to you, GuideWell, for like the third or fourth year doing an amazing job. And these talks can hopefully catalyze other elements online and beyond. So,
all right, go. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thanks so much. Those of you who are watching still, I'm going to sign off for you guys for the very last time here in the Insights Lounge. Before I do, I just want to say this is brought to you by GuideWell. And for those of you who aren't sure what GuideWell is, please check out their website. It's guidewell.com. It's a health solutions company that includes the largest health insurance company in Florida, Florida Blue. It's a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. They have a consumer engagement company, a care delivery platform, a care delivery company. They process claims for large government administrations. It's really a full family of forward-thinking companies that are focused on helping people and communities achieve better health. So if you believe in that mission, which I'm sure a lot of you do, you should just check them out and take a look at all the exciting things that they're doing. And this Insights Lounge is one of them, and it's an honor and a privilege to have been hosting it and to be here at Exponential Medicine. Again, like we said, for the third time for me here as an anchor and a reporter. It's been a pleasure. So take a look at all of the exciting interviews that we've conducted here. They are packaged and ready to go on YouTube. More are being added as we speak here. Please keep following along with the hashtag XMed and tell us your thoughts. Find those videos again at YouTube on GuideWell's channel. That's GuideWell MHC. For the very last time here during the live stream, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow because the sessions will be live. But during our live stream breaks, I'm Jessica DeMassa from the GuideWell Insights Lounge. Thank you so much for watching and for joining us. See you later.